Yesterday, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in. It crawls its way under your skin. Just got out from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, and he's Jones, where we talk about anything from peanut butter to politics, but
No politics.
because that just never ends in a good way, does
Golly,
it? You know
has
what
it
I mean?
ever? I don't know. Never.
I don't think ever.
Never.
Not in my life.
Never. Of course, shout out to our good friends at Natural Therapy Wellness Center, www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. Long weekend, Labor Day weekend. Go get a massage.
Oh, they're awesome. I
Yeah,
love
incredible. And our good friends at J&H right behind me there, Events and Flowers. Great stuff. $5 Friday. Brighten up your Labor Day weekend right here by getting a bouquet for $5. Wonderful. www.jheventsandsflowers.com.
That'll brighten anybody's weekend. Right?
Hey, look at this guy. Got a chance to golf with him. Tim Santos, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tim.
Yeah, fun time. And Tim got an experience golfing with Adam and I because we hunt and gather golf balls.
Yeah, well, that's what
Adam
we're hunters and gatherers.
Adam came away with 21. I was up 7, so we got like 20. We found 28 balls, which is about $30 or $40 worth at the store,
Well,
or not, if not
it's
more.
just fun too.
If not more.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's easy. That's how you count if you had a good day of golf, right?
Yeah. Over.
What was your score? I don't know, but I
we
found
were over
5 balls.
We were over 28. We were plus 28. Andrew Casaccio.
Hey, good morning.
Good to have you with us. Listen, today, our good friend Rancher Ron, Shayna, good morning. Our good friend Rancher Ron says that life is an adventure to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Yet last night after golf, there's a conversation going around, and I think a lot of people try to solve life as a problem. Why is that? I don't understand it. Deidre, good morning. Beautiful morning. She's probably out on the veranda there in Galena.
Yeah, she's up in Galena.
Watching the sun come up in her little space of heaven, little slice of heaven.
Little slice of heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, babe. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So the question is, why do people try to solve the problem of life instead of just live it as an adventure? You are a big try to solve it guy.
Well, I don't know if what we're talking about is everyone's trying to solve it, but you're trying to figure it out. Life is an adventure.
I don't think it's solving. I'm trying to figure it out. Let me.
All right, different word.
Yeah, in life. So here's what I mean. Let me throw it out there. We're in a conversation yesterday. Some great guys, some fantastic individuals as far as business thought, and they run a great business. We're going to have them on at some point. But my mind's always going, and I'm either way up here or I'm way down here. There's no in between with my thoughts and my energy. And you know what? If I could just figure it out, Why figure it out? Life is an adventure, right? An adventure like riding the rapids. Yeah, there's rapids in life. I would say that. Yeah. It is a beautiful morning. Absolutely. And again, right? Uncle Pete has it there. If you want to be part of this show, the most unique, we invite everybody. Just copy that, put it in your URL, follow the instructions, and come be part of the show. Have a cup of coffee with us. But
if you've got your hair done or your makeup on, come on in if you want live with us too as well, right? And we can do that.
I don't understand why there's so much pressure. people put so much pressure on themselves. Oh, well, you know, I might have multiple personality, or, you know, I've got ADD or whatever,
Right.
ADHD, whatever. Who cares?
Right.
Live life.
Right.
I don't,
Well, except, I mean, the thing is I kind of think what you're getting at is kind of accept what you are and where you're at and just do the best with what you have, right? Instead of just trying to fix. But that's the way society today is. You've got this, you've got that, fix this, fix that, and you'll be better if you do this, if you do that, instead of just accepting what you have and moving forward with it and saying, okay, it is what it is, make the best of what it is, instead of trying to make it, or, you know, fix it, as he put it, or solve.
well, I mean, so let's take a look at, I'm growing up in the 70s and the 80s. I was a hyper kid. I certainly have ADHD. I certainly have limited, and my daughter, who's a clinical psychologist, it drives her crazy because when a thought comes to my mind, I'm like, bloop. She's like, Dad, what's that got to do with anything? I don't know. So it came to my mind. So this is where I'm going today. Right this moment.
Well, you're speaking your mind, right?
Right.
Well, you're putting it out there, and, you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right. Who cares? That is the t-shirt we need to have. 21/6 Creator Studios. Who cares? Right? So I don't get wrapped up with like, man, I've got to be on Ritalin, right? Or I've got to be on this or that because my mind is going. Who cares? Live life. Take that quick right or whatever your mind is doing.
Right. Well, I know, like when we were talking last night, the one thing for him was he was talking about he's either up or he's down. There's no in between, and he's trying to figure out how to get in between. It's like, well, why are you?
Why? Who cares about in between?
I don't know. For him, I don't know specifically, but maybe he doesn't feel good high. Maybe he doesn't feel good low. He wants to feel in the middle, or he's never felt in the middle. So he's kind of going, oh, how do I get to that point? Because everyone is saying, this is how I feel. This is how I get there. And, you know, a lot of things out there tell us that it's not good enough, or this is the way you should be. And really, you should be who you are and what you are and how you work. Sometimes we need to figure out what's going on. If his brain's working too fast, which probably most of ours do, but no one talks about
so
it.
let's hang out in that avenue for a minute. What do you mean our brains are moving too fast?
Well, like for me, you know, when people talk about ADHD or what have you, right? It's attention deficit hyperactive, right?
Right. I was just hyper.
Right. I was hyper as well. I got
went
in trouble nonstop.
I went into kindergarten at 5, and within 20 minutes they called my mom and said, you need to come get him. He's not ready. Because I was bouncing off the walls. I was like, right? Because I was a hyper kid, ADHD.
Right.
It wasn't in the 70s. You were hyper. They didn't have ADHD at that point.
You were just a pain in the ass kid.
Right.
And that was me. I got in trouble nonstop because I couldn't sit still.
So I got thrown out of school my first day. And they asked me to come back when I was 6.
I knew we loved each other for a reason. I'm sure I never got kicked out of school, but I spent a lot of time in the principal's office.
But who cares if your mind's always going?
Well, so
I don't understand.
Like for me, when I say like my mind is always going, it's going too fast. It's very hard for me to focus on one thing for any length of time, which is really Why do you say bullshit?
Scott, you have done a ground up restoration on a 68 Corvette or 64
63,
Corvette, 63 Corvette.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of focus and passion and work. I mean, right?
It does, but it's been over a long period of time as well.
You being a motorcycle owner, you helped me and learned me, taught me how to detail what this does, how this does. And that takes time. Right. I'm sitting there and you're like detailing and showing me how to detail this thing. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Let's spray water on it.
Let's spray water and finish. Right.
It looks beautiful, people. It's like brand new. Right.
Yeah.
So no, your mind, bullshit. When it's in a spot, you're okay.
Well, right. And that's exactly it. And that's why a lot of people have and should have hobbies and stuff like that, because those are the things that you can kind of focus in on because you really do enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing literally when I was like, man, this is okay, it's good enough.
I'm like, no.
Right.
Right.
And literally it looked beautiful. It does. It looks brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, brand new. And it would never because during that entire time, and I told Alice this, I'm like, I'd have moved on. I'd have been, that's good. Dry it, move on. Dry it, move on. Right. And you're like, no.
Yeah,
Let's
keep
get
going.
this, right. And that was my mind. So I'm looking at you going, what do you mean your mind is racing? Because I'd have been done with this 10 minutes ago.
Right. Well, you were done with it. And that's
Right.
and that's not really your forte either, right? I mean, for me, I really enjoy that stuff. I love to see that transformation. So in that respect, I enjoy that. So my focus is better, right? Much better. In life, there's not so there's a lot of things that people in life not necessarily super happy or super really enjoy. So, but they have to do it. For some people, their job, they have to do it. Well, they can't focus because they're thinking about maybe going home and detailing their motorcycle, right? Or how they screwed up last night with their kids. Yeah. So
I want to know, Eric, bedazzled in the front or just on the back pocket? And happy Labor Day weekend. You need pizza. You need to follow some guy that life is bouncing in the right direction. This guy is, an incredible dad, incredible businessman. Now got a beautiful, fiance. This guy rocking and rolling in life right now, Eric. So
Eric, yeah.
Yeah. So some people have very inconsistent energy levels, physical and mental. If your freak flag prevents you from being happy or aligning or alienating others, you need to adjust. Let me read that again. If your freak flag prevents you from being happy or prevents you from alienating others, you need to adjust. Okay. So all right. So here's the deal. Says who?
Right. Well, so society. So what she's saying there, I think, is what society would want you to be. You have to adjust. Well, no, but if you're comfortable with your freak flag flying and you're alienating others and you don't care, who cares? Right. I mean,
who cares?
Right. I can't say I don't care. I mean, I do like to be, I don't even want to say accepted, but I do like people for the most part, at least until they prove me wrong that I don't want to like them. But
let me ask you a question. In your life, hey Lisa, good morning. In your life, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel it's a truer relationship by somebody who's like, Scott, you're fucked 3 ways to Thursday in your head. Let's talk about it. Or are you like, hey Scott, everything's good. You're good. I love you. Yeah. Hey. Which are the best relationships for you?
Both, really. I mean, depending for me, day or time. But I mean, realistically, I relish and I prefer the straight honesty. I don't want someone to come up and just bash me with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like with you and I talking, I mean, even in the green room today, right? We're human. We've got issues. If I've got something going on, and I'm maybe not recognizing it, I love it. I might at first get a little pissy. I don't like, I'm not a big confrontational person, but I also don't take criticism well at the very first part of it, right? Because it's like, why are you attacking me? But then I'll dig deeper into my brain and go, oh, okay, maybe you are right. I'll look at it and readjust it. So I do appreciate people being upfront and honest with me. Of course, there's a time and place. I mean, I'm already having a shitty day, don't come and tell me that I'm an idiot. You know what I mean? And drop on me. But I prefer that honesty. I prefer direct honesty than kind of, floating around, if you will.
Right.
To me, it's more beneficial to me. It's more beneficial to that person that's telling it to me. And when they do tell it to me, after I get to think about it, it makes me also realize that, they really do care. Because if you don't care, you're not going to say anything. You're not going to waste. I'm not going to waste my breath saying something to somebody that, doesn't give a shit.
Mentally, I hang in the deep end of the pool. Physically, I'm in the shallow end, says Shana. Right. So
that sounds about me.
Here's all the greats, all the people who changed the thought process, hung out in the right. We're as a world right now. We are 30-second sound bites. We're 2 minutes of news. We're whatever it is, and it's we don't want deep thinkers. We don't want people to go, well, let me think about that. No, right?
No, they want everyone just to follow in line. Here, this is what we say. This is what we do. Quick, done, easy, over.
Right.
No, they want robots. I mean, people would prefer people that are just agreeable and, go with the flow, so to speak.
Yeah.
That ain't me. That ain't you.
Right.
And I mean, for me, yeah, it's just not me. That's not the way I'm going to be.
Scott, do you recognize it's just their opinion?
Sometimes. Other times, I mean, it makes me think about it. It could be just their opinion, but I also go, if they say something, I'll go, you can look at that, go, is that an opinion or is that really fact? And it could be either or, just depending on the situation. And how you accept it or how you take it is of the utmost importance.
Yeah.
I mean, not taking it as like some people can tell you what's going on or what you're happening, and you can take it as a personal attack, or you can say, wow, you really love me. Thanks for bringing that to me. It's how you're perceiving that person's comment, if it's really valid or not.
To me, I say this all the time. If if everybody in the world were to die tomorrow and I was the only one left on earth, could I live with myself? Right. And the answer is yes. I absolutely love myself. Right. If there's a picture, if there's a group picture, right, I'm going to search myself out first.
I think that's human nature.
Right.
You just want to see how I think that's human nature, because I'm the same way. You just want to see how
Right.
you look. Why? Because we were kind of conditioned. How do you look?
I can absolutely love myself enough to be the only person left on earth, and I could live with myself and be happy. Right now, science has proven, yes, that you need human interaction. Right. There's been a lot of tests on that. Babies will die without human interaction. Right. Without the hug, without the swaddling, all that good stuff. Right. So we are as a species designed that we need this.
Well, it's funny you say that. I've just started watching this special called Living to 100, I think it's called.
Yeah.
About the centenarians throughout the world, and they call them blue zones, and they're trying to figure out why these people are living to be 100+ years old. Food, diet, exercise. What's the secret, right? Because there's different. Okinawa, Japan, has the greatest number of centenarians, right? And so this guy is set off to figure it out. And one of the big things, the common factor, other than diet, right, is relationships, friends, people to talk to, right? You need that social interaction.
On sometime today, and I know you're a rock and roll guy, but listen to Kenny Chesney's "Don't Blink" song.
I think I've heard that one.
You need to listen to it again today.
All right, we'll put it on the show right as soon as we're done.
That's all I'm saying.
Kenny Chesney.
Listen, Lisa says, I have a couple of close friends. Thanks, Lisa. That's all we needed to hear.
But she didn't say it's us.
Right, yeah. I have a couple of close friends. We say the truth to each other. But if we know they are stressed, we ask, are you in a mental, emotional state to hear my opinions on this? Or do you just need me to listen? Yeah, I mean, that's good. And listen, Lisa, the only thing, I know you very well. Of course, join us Sunday morning at 9 for Living Outside the Box. We've got fresh content coming up here this Sunday.
Yeah, she's a great person.
Since I know her, are these real people, or are these your make-believe friends?
Great friends?
Yeah. Are they snuffleupacuses? You know what I mean? All right. The secret is self-acceptance and the acceptance of others. I think that people try to figure out life as a problem for what they listen. I guess I can't wrap my head around, because I go through life like, man, I'm gonna have fun with life. I'm gonna enjoy this, right? If something bothers me, I'm gonna seek somebody out to talk about it or whatever, and I just keep moving. All right. To me, life is like Chutes and Ladders. The game Chutes and Ladders. You can trudge along. Space by space by space, and eventually get to where you're going. Sometimes you can grab a ladder and get
a little head start.
You win the lottery, whatever.
Right. Little help up, a little bit, boost up. Yeah.
But then there are times in life where you hit that slide and fall backwards. And at each step of the way, you have to figure. You got to keep playing the game.
You have to find the joy in where you're at.
Yeah,
right. It's up to you. It's up to you, because everybody in life, everyone has problems. regardless of who you think that everyone's
Sure.
got. Right, it's great, right? And when those problems come at you, it's not what the problems are; it's how you react to those problems, right?
Mhm.
And what your mindset is regarding that problem. Our society today has told us that basically what you are is not good enough in a lot of respects. You
Mhm.
need this, you need that, you need to go here, you need to own that, you need to be this type of person, you need to weigh this much,
Yeah.
right? Instead of, you know what, you're great just the way you are. But if you wanted to get healthier, why don't you try this? You know, I mean, life literally, folks, is about what you want to do. You can do, it's your life. Do what you want to do with it. Do you need to make $1 million? No. Why is that a big thing these days? I don't know, because that's what now capitalism is the big thing. You got to make a ton of money. I've fallen prey to that. You know what I mean? Me getting up as a kid, it was always about make this, and this will make you a better person. You know, have money. It'll make you a better person, make you happier. It's all bullshit, right? Doing what you want to do and
Yeah.
enjoying yourself is the most important thing. When I'm some of the dumbest shit that I do makes me the happy, like working on your bike, right?
Yeah.
And making it clean, making it look good. To me, you see it,
Yeah.
it pops out of me. That's why I'm into cars.
Yeah.
I enjoy cleaning them. I enjoy restoring them. I see going houses. I see it going from a total pile of shit to something beautiful.
Yeah.
And at the end result, yes, they're worth money, but that's not what it is for me.
That's the exchange of your
it's the
energy,
exchange,
right?
right? But it's also for me, it's creating something. It's enjoyment. It gets wrapped into
Sure.
what people's expectations or what they say you should be in life and how you should be there. It's so skewed these days. It's
Yeah.
not just about being a human being and being a person and doing what makes you happy. It's about what you think the world says you should be or should do, and that's hard.
Shayna says every relationship requires a compromise. Compromise is a donation of your energy. We just need to find the value to justify.
Oh, that's huge. And Shayna, that's great. I love that because as you know, I like to talk with older folks too, to kind of gather their wisdom. And the two things that commonly come out of people that have a successful marriage,
Mhm.
okay, relationship, is compromise and communication.
Mhm.
You can keep those two lines open in a decent manner, you're going to do well.
Or the ability to lick your own eyebrow, man. That helps.
Go on, let me try.
Another t-shirt for you. Can you lick your own eyebrow?
Can you lick your own eyebrow? You don't need to be married.
Date me. I can lick my eyebrow. There you go. Never mind. All right. Listen. Yeah, no, I agree. And we've said it on this show.
Wait, did he just say he agrees with me?
You and Shayna, yeah,
I love it.
we've said it on there. We've had this show.
Right.
Everything is energy around us, right? So
Right.
it's that transfer of energy. It's if I roll up onto somebody who's got bad energy, guess what I do? I make a joke and I move on, right? I don't want bad energy around me. Do you fall into it? Yes. Do I have bad days? Absolutely. Again, my mantra is don't get angry this year, right? So a lot of it is as I go through my mantra every day and I look at things, I am feeling great because where I'm able to see now where, oh man, if I wasn't doing this mantra and I wasn't repeating it with meaning every day, that guess what? I would have been pissed. I would have blew up. I would have gone after. I would have been a dog on a bone. I'm not letting go of this until I either make you cry or you agree with me, right? And I see now, like, because of it, I'm watching people try to solve life as a problem. It's not. It's an adventure to be lived. Just live it. Just go do it. You just got back from a trip out west where you and your son and your wife, was she with you? Did Angel's Wing or Angel's Landing?
Yeah, she was with us. She did not make the top, unfortunately.
Angel's Landing is a dangerous trail.
It's the most dangerous hike in the United States.
And you now I'm going to ask.
Don't talk about it. You're going to make me cry.
I'm going to ask. Did you look at it and go, well, if I step this way and I try to figure out how to get to the top, this is going to be an enjoyable trip? Or did you just go, fuck it, let's go get it?
A little bit of both, to be honest with you, because it is such a dangerous hike that you are thinking every step that you're doing.
Different than sitting there trying to figure out the problem of getting to the top.
Oh, no,
Right?
no. You're like literally when you're doing this, you
You're
are in the moment.
adventure,
Well,
right?
you have to be, and that's where the mindfulness thing comes in, right? You have to be.
There you go.
You have to be there. There's no way you could hike this land, this mountain, without being 100% in the moment. Because if you do, you will fall because it's thousands of feet
dangerous.
straight down.
I couldn't
It's
do it.
2 feet wide.
I wouldn't even want to do it.
Yeah. So
that's not an adventure for me to take.
no.
I'm just
Right.
I don't like heights, and if there's a good chance that I can die when I fall down, I don't do it. Right.
Right.
That's just it.
Right. And that's not a problem to be solved for me. That is the adventure that I'm trying to live, and something that I want to, people talk about the bucket list, something to check off my bucket list as far as hiking all these wonderful state parks, but that in itself is an unbelievable adventure.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to solve the problem. What I'm trying to do is keep myself alive. So I guess that's the problem
that
I'm trying to avoid. Right.
That's life.
That is life. Exactly. But I am putting myself in a situation that is not a normal situation that people would put themselves in their typical life,
every
right?
time.
But I chose that. I chose that.
We know people who have died in the last 6 months on motorcycles. On, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just life.
Right.
It is in just cars life. Who've died from a heart attack, who just,
right.
That's life. Right. You put yourself in. That's what I'm saying. Life is an adventure.
Right. And just live it. Don't overthink it.
Lisa says compromise and communication are pieces of respect and value. You have to know what value you have in things and individuals and decide what it's worth to you. Not everyone and everything to us are worth every person's effort. So respect is listen, if you're living, I respect you, right? You earn my respect. I don't just give it to you, but you've made it thus far, or you've made it so far, or you're doing something that's great, and that's awesome, right?
Right.
Now, there's different levels of respect. There's different ways to look at respect, this, that, and the third, right? And that could be a whole different show. Right. But the bottom line is, compromise and communication is just how you live with humans,
right?
With animals,
right?
You compromise and you communicate, and that's a big thing. Good morning, Robert. Glad to have you with us, buddy. What's your dad say there?
All right. So, good morning, Dad. Morning, Mom. He says the lack of human interaction has been shown to release excess stress hormones, causing an elevated heart rate and increased blood pressure and blood sugar levels, thereby negatively affecting our lifelong health. Yeah, when you've got too much cortisol, that puts you into just almost a fight or flight type of situation, which does increase your heart rate, increases your blood pressure, which is not good. It's things that are going to cause malfunctions in the system.
Okay. So here's where I'm going.
Although having some friends sometimes can cause more stress than not.
And Drew and I talked about this a little bit this week too, is listen, who gives a shit, right? We try to figure out life. We try to affecting our lifelong health. How do you know? Maybe this is the way your life was designed and it's meant to be. But if we're trying to figure it out, we have baby boomers shoving themselves full of medication to offset the side effects from the other medication.
Yeah, that's horrible.
You're telling me this was your dream? Your dream was to work 30 years, retire, and then fill yourself full of medication so that you could live to be on average 83. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And because of that, we're trying to figure life out as a problem to be solved, right? Instead of enjoying the ride, instead of being present. Listen, my parents are in their 80s, 82, right? I absolutely love them. They're on medication. I'm happy and I'm blessed that I still have both my parents. My wife still has both of her parents. Very, very blessed. Very, very blessed. right?
Yeah.
And I relish that every time we're with them and we have the chance to talk, right? Because we don't know when that last day is.
No, you don't know when anyone's last day is. Yeah.
So the bottom line is, if we're down here to learn and do whatever on this blueberry as we are, why not just live life as an adventure and not a problem to be solved? The problem, right? So here's the deal. I go in and I have my physical, and I have they're like, man, your blood pressure is almost too low. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel good. You got a lot of stress? No, I got no stress. Everybody's got stress, but I don't let it get to me.
Well, it's how you handle it.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, well, everything's good. My LDL, that's the bad stuff. The bad
cholesterol, right?
Cholesterol is at 122. It's just outside of the green. So I'm borderline. And they're like, yeah, you know what? You just low fat diet and exercise. I said, well, I'm on the low fat diet, which is cool. So what you're saying is I just need to exercise. Got it. Guess what I'm doing? I've thrown exercise into my life, not as a problem to be solved, but to say our bodies were made to move, to hunt, to gather, to not be sedentary behind a screen or on a bar stool or whatever. Right. So, your dad says, hey, at 83, we consider ourselves overachievers.
Oh yeah. My parents, they're both of them are 83 and they look like they're 65. Because they take care of themselves, and they don't. Here's the thing: is they don't do the mainstream shit like everyone else tells them. Right? They're enjoying their adventure, and their adventure. My brother, love him to death, chiropractor, all into all natural, like myself. Sometimes you have to take medication, but they just live their life. They take their supplements they need, right? And I don't think. I mean, I have good conversations with them, but I don't know how mainstream has affected their thought processes versus what they really, kind of come up with their own thing, right? I mean, both my parents are very intelligent individuals, right? And I learned from them.
There's a reason why, Grandma Smith lives to be 104 years old, who lives in the deep South. She rolls her own cigars off the tobacco she has on her land, and she drinks her own moonshine, and she lives to be 104. And there's a reason why Jimmy dies at age 40, because he runs a 5K every day, eats birdseed, and is stressed out about everything in life because he's trying to figure it out. There's a reason for that, folks. I'm telling you, I would rather be Grandma Smith rolling my own cigars and drinking my own moonshine and living to 104. People say, oh man, you're going through a midlife crisis. No, I'm not. They're like, what? I go, listen, I'm going to live to be 140. My midlife crisis is coming at 70.
Yeah, right.
I'm not there yet.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, what? I go, listen, by the time, look how far medicine and everything is advanced. I'm going to live to be 140.
Yeah.
I mean, in biblical times, they lived to be 300.
Well, what's strange, or funny you say that, is for many years our age, the typical age that people were living to, was continually increasing.
Yeah.
We just recently have seen a downtick, right? Why is that?
Yeah.
Can anyone answer that for me? Right? Why now, with all the advances that we have in medicine?
It's Trump's fault.
And it's Trump's fault. We're not talking politics. It's JB's fault. But no, and why is that? Well, I mean, I think there's a couple simple answers, because everyone's trying to solve problems, right? Taking medications because of something that society says you need to take that. You got ADHD? Okay, great. Use that. In a lot of respects, for me, I do have ADD. I know I do.
Sure,
but that's a superpower for me.
I've got adult.
But that's right. Yeah. But that's, for me, that's a superpower.
Then why do you try to squash it?
I don't try to squash it. I try to control it.
Why? If it's a superpower, superpower, get out there in your long johns, brother. Let's go. Put that cape on.
So for me, but for me, it's a superpower because my mind's always going good. But sometimes trying to shut it down to be able to focus on the one thing is tough. And that's where, for me, trying to control it, right? Or you use words, solve it, trying to understand how it works and what works better for me and how it's going to help benefit me. Can I survive without it? Yeah. Right. But for me, I'm a person that I always need answers. I try to understand and figure shit out. Some things in life, guys, we just need to just accept where it is and keep moving forward. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a perception thing too. I've got it. I think everyone has it, honestly. but it's some that are worse than others. And just accept what you have, keep moving forward. And if you're trying to solve something, I mean, for me, when I do try to solve, I ask everybody, "Oh, you feel the same way? You feel the same way?" All right, so maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's just the way life is. Maybe I'm digging too deep into shit.
I don't give a shit what people, right? Yeah, Ricky Bobby. With modern medicine and my income, I could live to be 200.
Right.
Shanna says we are in a weird time where interdependence is less and less necessary. We can actively avoid being offended. The result of the shift makes cutting people loose more common. Uber makes it easier to be an island. Probably not good. So here's the issue.
Morning, Don.
And just to piggyback off that, listen, here in America, I can only speak for Americans. When I grew up, every day before school, we did the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
Mhm.
And there's and you ingrain yourself in something, and it says one nation under God,
Indivisible.
Say that again. Indivisible, with
Right.
liberty and justice for all. We stopped saying that. We stopped making that mandatory. We stopped reciting that a few years back in school. And guess what this nation is now?
Divided big
right?
time.
So there's a simple thing, right, of that interdependence, and that's what we're saying. We had now focused more on our differences than we do on our commonalities, and that's an issue.
And they're making, and it's like it's bad,
show,
right? And it's like it's bad because you're different. Different is great,
right?
Find the different that you want in your life and hold on to it.
Your pop says life is adventurous and exciting because you never know where you'll be in a few minutes or so. You're right.
Right. And what he says, and that's true. Yeah. But some people, and sometimes for me as well, not knowing what's coming up is a little unnerving. But at the same token, it can be, oh, what's going to happen? Where are we going to be? How are we going to get there?
Listen, Jesus Christ, Lisa, why don't you have your own fucking show?
Oh, she does. What does she say? She says, I think it's because we have become sedate with technology, and we have become overstressed with the need to please, and become the noticed one. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
It is also the reason we are raising a generation of narcissists who think what they want and feel and how they see it needs to be seen by all.
That's right.
Interesting.
That's right.
Raising a bunch of narcissists. That's okay.
Right. I heard it's a box of chocolates. Listen, that is the dumbest. That is one.
Life is a box of chocolates.
That is one of the dumbest sayings that I have ever heard.
It was great in the movie.
It's dumb. It makes absolutely no sense. If you buy a box of chocolates and you don't know that you're getting chocolate inside of that box, you're an idiot.
No, what kind of chocolate you're getting?
It doesn't matter.
Caramel cream.
Life's like a box of chocolates. Finish it. Finish the saying. You never know what you get inside.
Life is
like you get chocolates inside.
Chocolates inside. Just the flavor of chocolate, huh?
It's dumb.
It was a good saying for the movie. Jeez,
it's dumb.
Yeah. All right.
And that's why my wife never likes watching shows and movies with me, because I'm like, this is dumb.
So your major critique, you just can't sit there and enjoy it.
Yeah, I can't. I look at things and go, that's why I like the senseless ones like Ricky Bobby, because they're not supposed to be.
No, you're supposed. Yeah, they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be stupid. They're supposed to be just get your attention off.
A simple get over yourself might help. But then we say, but you can't just get over yourself, because now we've got to talk to a psychologist. We've got to do this.
Why? What's wrong with myself? Why do I got to get over myself? I can't accept myself.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, most people can't accept themselves for who they are and what they are.
No.
They're always trying to better themselves.
They are not. She's like, they're talking about the goo inside camp, but you could stick your thumb in and no, problem solved. Listen, the saying goes, life's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you get inside. You know you're getting chocolate. It doesn't say you don't know what kind of goo is inside the chocolates.
That's the whole idea they were trying to put across.
Dumb. It's dumb. It doesn't make sense.
So he didn't like that movie.
So you don't stick your thumb in the chocolate, so you wouldn't get the.
Because then you can't share them. Because then if you didn't want that one, here, take it. It's just my thumb. Just my thumb.
It's a dumb saying. It's like this saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wrong. That is absolutely false. You can't score on 100% of the shots you don't take, but you'll never miss because you don't take the shot.
You don't take the shots, you don't miss.
You'll never make it either.
Right.
It's the dumbest saying in the world.
You got to shoot to score, right?
Depends what you're playing. I mean, if we're playing cards, I can score without shooting.
Yeah. No, basketball. Sorry, basketball.
Yeah.
You got to shoot the score.
I mean, I'm just saying, to me, where I'm at in my life in this time, right? And really, if I look back on my whole life, I'm a dreamer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a risk taker. I don't like to stay in one place. I don't like that's why I love this station, because I got so many shows that I can be like, man, we can go any direction, everywhere. I'm not in a lane, right? So to me, yeah, I am. That's just, to me, yeah, it's the dumbest thing. Yeah. You, you know, the bottom line is, for me, is I've always just lived life and had fun. Maybe it's because I'm the fourth boy in the family, right? The baby, and I've gotten away with everything. I don't know, right? But the bottom line is that people have probably looked at my life and go, man, right? I was talking with a college student, sophomore in college, and they're like, "What do you do?" I go, "What day is it?" Right?
You're probably like, what? What do you mean?
And
What day is
they're
it?
like, no, I mean, seriously, I mean, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I do mortgages for a First National Bank of Omaha.
That's your main job,
right? NMLS 1258805. And
give him a call if you need some cash.
And I own an internet radio station. What? Yeah. Yep. And then I also coach college basketball. So it depends what day, depends what time of the day you're asking. And they look at me like, holy cow, right? And they're in college, right? And so I'm like, listen, that's the fun of my life is I go all the time. I'm always going. Right?
Because you're doing what you love and you have a variety. So you're not just drugged down by one thing that, and a lot of people these days don't have that. They've got one thing. They go to their job.
But never in my life did school or society say, hey, you know what? When you're 54, you're going to have 3 full-time jobs. You're going to have a full family. You're
right.
Because I'd have been like, nope, I'm retired at 40. I'm going to make it rich when I'm young. And I'm having the time of my life. I'm having a ball. Every year gets better, right? And I stay busier. I've got friends. I do. We all have them. I got friends who at 48, they started work for UPS at 18, and at 48 retired with full pension. And
that's crazy.
And guess what? They're back working, doing something else.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't listen again. I'm living to 140, so I don't know if I'll ever retire.
Well, right? that's not a word in my vocabulary. The ability to not have to work is what I consider retirement. The ability not to have to work, right? I choose to because I enjoy it. I do, like you, I have many facets, many different things that I do, right? Because I choose to, because it's fun to me. It's exciting. I couldn't do one thing. I couldn't be that 9 to 5 guy sitting in an office or what have you. I just couldn't do that. I'd lose my shit. I need that variety. I need to keep moving, to keep doing things, to creating, to, and things, solving problems, right? That's interesting to me. That's fun to me. Building things, fixing things. That's what gets my blood rolling.
Yeah. This is an electric group. This is amazing. The electric company was wonderful too. If life is an adventure, then a vacation is an adventure to find true joy.
Wow.
So it depends, right? So we call it vacation here. Europeans will call it holiday. I'm going on holiday. Right.
And they take a lot of holiday, which is good. They're still much more mentally ahead of us.
So I would say that the word vacation, when we have to take a vacation, that is the American society. That's American governance that said, hey, you come and the word employ is like slavery, to employ, to use. You come and you work on my plantation at the bank. That's my plantation, and we'll give you 3 weeks that you don't have to come in throughout the year.
Right?
Does that sound good for you, buddy? You're like, yeah,
3 weeks paid.
I'm on it.
Well, let me ask you a question. What is vacation to you? Right. So why do you go on vacation?
I don't. I work all the time. I'm doing creative content. I'm posting things on there. I'm answering the phone because I'm in sales. I don't go on vacation. I don't get a vacation.
You don't take one. You could get one if you wanted to, but you don't. That's a
Right.
choice that you make.
Right.
Well, so the reason I asked that question, pure and simply, is so vacation, some people say it's to get away from their typical life, right? They're going on vacation. They're
Okay.
getting away from their typical day. For me, vacation is a way to recharge my battery, not to get away from life, just to recharge my battery to get back to
Yeah.
doing what I love, right?
Yeah.
So in some ways, some people will put it as not in the negative connotation, but like you don't enjoy it. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm still kind of working, but
Okay.
I'm getting away to recharge myself.
So vacation, Mr. Giles and Mr. Giles, is this. 90% of Americans who go on vacation end up in debt, stressed out, angry, and come home pissed off at each other because they're trying to squeeze something into a week.
Right.
Right. So we fight and argue up to the point. Am I getting the right deal? Is this? Then we stress out because we have to catch this flight to get to someplace, Then we're going to spend all week in this wonderful land called Disney World. And we're going to be stressed out because we have to be running and everybody's tired and angry. And we're overcharged for food and we're overcharged for this. We're overcharged for that. So if it is if vacation is an adventure to find true joy, 90% of Americans don't.
Vacations can be very stressful. You are 100% right. And it's a funny fact is, more people spend more time planning their vacations than they do planning for their retirement.
Well said.
Right. Which is, and I thought about that. I'm like, holy cow, it's true. You spend days and, hours and hours and weeks planning for 1 week of your life.
So solving is fun for many, like Scott Shana says, like a puzzle. Trick is finding puzzles you like and don't make you cry, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I choose the things that I enjoy to solve or to do, right?
No, you don't.
What do you mean I don't?
No, you don't. Because you talk about, oh, you fuck. My mind's going, kid. Right? So, but and here's so let's peel this away a little bit. It's like a puzzle. Are we talking a jigsaw puzzle? Are we talking a word puzzle? What kind of puzzle are we talking about? Because if we're talking about a jigsaw puzzle, you have a picture of what the end product looks like. Life, you don't.
Right.
Okay.
You have an idea of what you want your life to be.
And then you sit and what do? You get it, you put the last piece in, and what's the first thing you do? Hey, got it.
What's next?
And away it goes.
Right. What's next?
Right. Is it a word puzzle that you're like, well, let me try to really figure this out and get to the end? Is it a Sudoku puzzle or whatever, however the hell you say that, right?
Sudoku.
So we get, and if any of those puzzles, it stops you and makes you try to solve it, you're not living life. You have stopped the progression of your life, right? Life's an adventure, right? So if you were doing that, then you would have got halfway up the Angel's Mountain back spine, whatever the hell it is.
Landing.
and you would have gone, well, let's sit here for the next week and try to figure out the best way to get to the top, right? Instead of onward, right? So to me, solving puzzles is a challenge. I wouldn't say that it's fun, and it creates people's anxiety, and it creates stories in the inside of you as you're trying to figure out life. Why? Listen,
just because something might stress you out, or doesn't mean it's not fun. I mean, I do puzzle, and I don't really do puzzles.
I went out on Wednesday morning to get on my bike, to get on the motorcycle, go to work. Battery dead. I left the key in on dead. Right, my fault. In the past, I would have got pissed because I was planning to ride the bike. And you know what I said? I go, maybe I was supposed to die on the motorcycle today. And that's why I left the key on. So I'll be happy to take the truck.
So you did. So here's the thing. I was talking earlier. Everyone has problems. Everyone has issues. It's not what it is. It's how you react to it. It's how you perceive it. You reacted to it. You're like, inside you're probably like, fuck. But okay. Now you looked at, maybe it's a good thing because, right? Most people are going to go right away to the negative going, fuck, I can't do it now. My day's ruined.
I was grateful. There's
Right.
a reason.
My day's ruined. I can't start my bike.
And I haven't charged my battery because I'm lazy and I procrastinate.
It's how you reacted to it, and that's what kept you in a positive sense. It's okay.
I'll get it, but maybe it was today, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it's tomorrow when I'm not riding the bike when I would be, that I would be in this accident that I can't be in now, right? So the idea is maybe, truthfully, the universe, me, whatever, meant for that battery to die to save my life, and I'm just going to live now, right? There's no reason to get upset. There's no reason to get mad, right? It is what it is.
Right. Well, you have that problem in front of you. Your solution was either jumpstart it to take it to work, or just be like, okay, I'll charge it and ride it later.
Well,
your reaction and your perception of that situation kept you safe, and you justified it in your mind. Other people would have reacted completely different and maybe ruined their entire day.
Yeah.
So, and that's
right.
that's what it is about any problem that you have in life. It's about how you react and how you perceive. You can't change it. We all got them.
That's living.
Right.
That's an adventure to be lived.
Well,
when you hit the rapids, what am I going to do? Right.
Right. That's another one of the life skills that I think is something that parents, should help their kids to understand, that you're going to have these problems. You're not going to get away from things like that. How you react to it is how it's going to affect your day, how it's going to affect your life. Not plain and simple, right?
Yeah.
So
why is planning a vacation a puzzle that some enjoy and a nightmare to others? That's the dynamic I have with my husband, but we have never had the horrid vacation experience as the 90%. We need a mix of types, and we won't likely ever understand the other. And that's, listen, I truly, I look at my wife every day and go, man, I'm lucky. Right. She's a brilliant woman. She's beautiful beyond being, and she brings just an incredible radiance to any situation that she's in. She's just a really cool person.
Well, the best thing I think about her, right, is that she actually likes you. So that's really important.
Or she pretends well.
Or she pretends really well, but that's the best. Like when people talk about my wife, I'm very lucky. My wife is beautiful. She's smart. She works hard. She's raised, 2 beautiful kids.
Right.
Those are all great things about her, but the best thing about my wife is she likes me, and she accepts. Most days, she accepts me,
or the ability to lick your own eyebrow.
Yeah,
so there
but she is as flawed as I am. She loves me and accepts me for who I am, and helps me to become a better person every day, regardless of how much pushback I give her.
She is a saint.
She is. Sometimes it takes me going on a vacation like man camp type shit, right, to realize that, going, wow, I really got it good. Other days it's like, man, what do I got to solve today?
Yeah. Staying in the moment helps to choose to respond versus react. I'd like to be better at it. Tips. Tips is the best way to do it is she's doing that hearts in the eyes because of the tongue comment.
See how thick these eyebrows are? They get groomed well.
Yeah, I agree, Lisa. Lisa says observe life, not absorb life. So again, it's just being mindful, right? We'll use the battery being dead as an example. I could have got in when I was 20 or whatever, I might have just gotten mad, right? And said, because I'm looking at the rest of my day.
You could have let it ruin your entire day.
The way the dominoes I think are supposed to fall aren't going to fall that way now. But being mindful, being in the moment, being an observer in life instead of an absorber is, okay, this happened for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, nor do I need to, but I need to move forward.
Again, you just have to accept what it is.
Again, do I allow it to lose a turn and I don't move forward that day? Or do I say, well, let's move forward, or let's climb a ladder, or whatever, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So instead of saying, well, because my battery's dead, now I slide down the slide and I'm back 10 steps, and then I ruin everything
to get back.
Listen, the truth of the matter is, I love that I'm here for whatever reason, for however long, right? I love that I don't have control. I mean, that's a lot of us think we have control over life. You don't.
The only thing any of us have control of, and it's still very weak, is ourselves. That's it. You have the perception that you have control over other things, but the only thing in this life that we have control of is ourselves.
Some people,
And
there are some
anybody.
people who don't.
Well, okay, but the only thing that you really can have control of in your life is you. There's nothing else. There's that idea that you might actually have a little bit of control things, but I can't control anything other than myself. And some days I can't even control myself. So, I can manage expectations, but I can't control it.
Faith is not knowing the reason, but trusting there is one. Don says that it's about choosing. When something happens, don't just react. Think first and then choose your response. Keeps you in control versus giving away your control.
That's a good one. Not reacting right away. So taking some time to actually think it through, because for me, my mouth is faster than my brain. And so I'm always trying to solve things instead of absorbing it and listening to it and stuff. And as I get older, my wisdom increases and I'm slowing down to do that. But Don it's a very good point, right? Don't just react. Sit back and think about what your consequences are or what things maybe you're trying to achieve.
So, and here's where I'll push back on Don. That keeps you in control. You're not in control of dick. Listen to what I'm saying. You're not even in control of your choices. If you're a Christian, if you're a God-fearing man, if you know that there's a God and you feel God is omniscient, omnipotent, everything, omnipresent, then you're part of God's play. And if you think you have control, you don't trust that God's got control, right? So why am I to say that me choosing to leave my battery on unconsciously, right, is how can I control that? Listen, all the world's a stage and we're merely players. If God is everything, right? There's freedom of choice. Well, is there? That's something our human brain puts in. But if God's got control and God is pulling the strings, what am I worried about? My God's pretty great. My God has the ability to do great things through me. So why would I go, you know what? I know better. Let me be in control, God. Right? I'm just saying that as good God-fearing people as a lot of Christians claim to be, they sure don't put a lot of trust in the way God is calling the plays that day.
Well, see, from what I understand,
we're choosing audibles.
The way I understand it, the way I've been taught is God gave us this life. It's up to us what we do with it. He's not in control of our day-to-day. We can live by a set of values and morals and stuff that maybe God has, the person or the energy, the presence has taught us. But there's because for me, I don't believe that in one shape or form that God is in control of your life. Because if God was in control of his life, these kids wouldn't be getting raped. Babies wouldn't be dying. All the horrible shit that's happening wouldn't be happening. It's because he gave control to us people that are weak as fuck that all this stuff happens. We have the ability to make it a great life, but some people choose not to do that. I don't think he's controlling him, her, it, the energy is controlling me. I have the opportunity to do what I like, and I have to choose what is good, bad, or indifferent, right? So I don't think God was inside you. I think maybe inside your head, you knew that your battery needed to die, right? So you left it on for a reason. Will we ever know? No. But that's my perception. Right. I don't believe God is taking the wheel. So there's that song, whatever. Jesus take the wheel.
So you're saying that your God is limited.
No, I didn't say my God is limited.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is
you're saying you can override God.
What I was taught was that God does not involve in our everyday life, right? He gave us he, she, it, we, they, the presence, the energy has given us the opportunity in this world to live. We choose how to live, hoping that we will live by this set of values or this set of morals or this how society wants you to go. That's not it. It's up to you. There's not somebody that's interjecting into your life every day. In the back of your head, you might be thinking, this is what is said. This is what the Bible says. This is what that says. I should do this. Maybe not you, but I think a lot of people do that. I don't believe anybody. My day is my day, and I'm not 100% choose to what happens, but for the most part, it's up to me what I do or don't.
Tune in at 9 a.m. to listen to Lisa's show on Sunday, she says.
Okay.
Right. And yes, Don says, hey, it's called free will. Yes, That's what we as humans try to put on things to justify that we try to shrink the God's ability, God's whatever, because we try to say God is a human or he or whatever. We try to put a form to God because our limited minds can only get there. I'm saying that, guess what? There is no free will, perhaps. I don't know. Perhaps there is no free will. And if my God is all knowing, all doing, all everywhere, all the time, then I'm saying that I can override that, which would mean that I'm better knowing, better present, better than what God is. And not in my life, right?
Right. But when we make decisions about things, we think about why it is and what our morals and our values say to do. And if you are a God-believing, God-fearing person, there's certain things that you are asked to do and asked to live by, right? To make it a good society. You know, Bob says it is said that God helps those who help themselves.
Yes,
right. If
yes,
you do,
it is
right.
said. It's
right.
not biblically said, but it is said.
Right. It is said, right? So, and that's the truth. If you can't help yourself, God, in my opinion, is not something that's in your day helping you every day. It's in your mind saying, this is how I need to live and make that choice.
We're running out of time, but Don, this is something that you and I could have it absolutely does. It absolutely does shrink God. If you say you can override God, then God isn't omniscient. God isn't omnipresent. If you can say that, right? So you got to choose a lane. Is God all everything? And if so, then you have to understand that, right? I that's what I believe. Right now, I like to think that,
and you're entitled to 100% to your belief.
I like to think that I have free will,
right?
Because growing up, that's so God gave us free will, right? No,
well, it's our ability to choose for ourselves. Are we going to choose the right path? Not always, but we do have that opportunity.
Now we're saying, oh wait, we're assuming we're overriding him. We are not. Absolutely. If you say it's free will, then whatever God chose is overridden, right? You can't have it both ways. Is there free will, which means God has nothing to do with that decision, or is there not, right?
Well, every decision I make is my decision. The information that I have in my head and the way I was raised are things that help me make that decision, good, bad, or indifferent. To me, doesn't matter if there's an omnipotent God, person, energy, what have you. I make those decisions based on how I was raised and
it's only
the morals and values that I feel are important in my life.
And it's only crazy talk because it goes against your belief. Right?
Well, I didn't say it's crazy talk.
No, Don did.
Oh, okay.
Crazy talk, Deep. Right. No, listen, I am a Christian through and through. I love Jesus with all my heart. I understand God from a Christian standpoint, and that's why we use he. We put pronoun on God.
Well, that's what you were taught, that God was an actual human,
right?
Or at least the son was a human that walked the earth, right?
I believe so.
Right.
And with all my heart, with all my being, yes.
And that's the beauty, is that's your free will to believe that or not to believe that.
But again, here's the problem. We were talking about free will, is this. Life's an adventure to be lived, not a problem to be solved. We try to solve the problem of, well, it's free will. It's not free will. It's got to do this. Is it all predestined? Is it blasphemy? Right? Yeah. Right.
Well, we've been taught in our society to not just accept things the way they are. Right. If that's something that you don't like, you have to solve it. Right. Instead of just accept it and move forward. Right. You got to fix that. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the way we were raised in school. Oh, you got to fix that problem. You got to fix it. Why? Just keep moving forward. There's nothing I can do with it. I was raised as a problem solver. I get in trouble with my wife nonstop from trying to solve problems. Instead of asking her, I'm trying to get better at this, going, when we have a conversation, babe, is this something you want me to listen to, or do you want me to help solve the problem? I immediately want to go to solving problems instead of just being that ear. And I know that, and I have to deal with that, right?
Yep.
Instead of just accepting and moving forward, I'm going, how do I fix that? Well, maybe it doesn't need to be fixed.
It doesn't.
Right? Well, some things do. And you have to, and that's where
a leaky pipe has to be fixed.
Yes. Right. And that's where you have to use your
doesn't have to be, but it will ruin your floor.
Right. So there's consequences if you don't fix that or solve that. Other things in life, just let it the fuck go.
Right.
Because it's not going to do you any good except get whirled in your head.
Right. I am right here with Lisa. Absolutely. The arrogance that we humans believe the human mind can even pretend to comprehend God's plan. There's a picture we can't see, and because of that, we dispel. Absolutely. Right? Part of the adventure of life for me is to pursue God, not as a problem to be solved, just personal desire to know and understand God.
I know he put him. You
so
can't
you got
put-
him.
You
so
can't
now-
limit. You can't limit that person.
Right.
If you are a real
That
God-fearing
deity,
and
that
understanding
deity,
person,
that
right?
deity,
That that energy is much bigger than anything you could ever perceive. I think the reason that they put it into a person's persona is so you can relate.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
you
your
can
little
relate.
human brain can
Right.
wrap around the
Yeah.
concept.
I mean, I'm born and raised Catholic my entire life. I'm not a believer in the fact of it's a person. Like we've talked about before, if you want to call God,
Now,
it's everything.
I will love the moment that I get up there and go, wow, I was way wrong.
Wait, I can't get in the pearly gates. Son of a bitch. They gave me a key and I solved for that problem.
Here's the other thing.
Go to the locksmith then.
If we want to go down, life is a problem to be solved. That's every Christian, because I want to live in heaven for eternity.
Well, isn't heaven on earth?
What if there's
isn't earth a heaven?
What?
That's the thing. I think when we die, we die. I think this is our heaven.
And Tony Soprano.
And we have to learn and understand that this is our heaven. And how do we make it heaven?
Right. So the deal is,
how do you enjoy it?
Every Christians out there are so worried on how to get into heaven that they don't do what Jesus did and live a good life and just be good to people and love people and make a difference in the world. 90% of them are like, I better go to church. I better do this. I got to go to confession. I got to do this so I can get to heaven. Hey, if you're telling me that Jesus was here and died for your sin, and all you have to do is believe in him with all your heart, and then you'll get into heaven, guess what? It's done. It's a done deal. What are you worried about? Right? Right?
I follow you.
Right?
Yeah. There's always something to worry about.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, we have gone past our time today.
Yeah.
We appreciate every one of you tuning in with us every day and speaking, or every week with us and hanging out with us and talking, because that's what life's all about, right? Talking, figuring things out, understanding different ideas, different perceptions, different ways of living. You know, this show, like we tell you all the time, guys, it's a daily dose of encouragement for us as well. I mean, for me, this show is therapy 101, right? I mean, you can come in, talk to us, not feel judged, talk about anything you want. You know, life is an adventure, right?
Listen.
There are things you need to solve, but do understand that life is an adventure and try to enjoy it the best you can. Because the reason I do the shit I do all the time is because I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be able to do it.
Listen, Lisa's show on Sunday is going to to be right? Sunday's show is living outside the box, is the commercialism of manifesting. And this is just part of that, our conditioned belief that we are in total control. So with that, y'all, it's time for us to bounce.
The bag lady just showed up.
But understand that that this is a good conversation. And maybe we're going to take a piece of this next week. I don't know.
I think,
I love the interaction. We're going to be looking forward to it next week, next Friday, as we are rocking and rolling.
Our show next Friday is going to be awesome.
Yep. So we'll look for you all next Friday. Yep. Until then, be good, but more importantly, be good to each other.
We love you all.